her truth. When she smiles at you, she'll say that angels don't lie.
Hello, and welcome to Angels Don't Lie. I'm your host, Jeannie Street, and I'm so happy that you're here tonight. Tonight's show I'm really excited about because we're going to talk about relationships, because we all have them, we all experience them, and we're going to talk about how to up-level yourself, and when doing so, when it might be time to walk away from a relationship. So stay tuned. So welcome back to the show. This is Angels Don't Lie, and tonight we're talking all about relationships. So I've been doing these morning talks with the angels, morning inspirationals with the angels every morning at 7:30 during the summer. So I started in June, and now we're in this last week of August, which I'll be winding down this beautiful time that I've spent on Facebook doing these lives. And what I have found from the past 3 months of showing up in this lovely way, first, I did it for myself. I did this to provide myself with love and energy and to support others. And in doing so, that I was going to be expansive. And so I wanted my own life, my own personal relationships to really grow and evolve with my commitment to showing up in love, with my commitment to growing my spiritual practice. So today we're going to talk all about how you can grow your spiritual practice, how you can pay attention to yourself, and then understand that you have a path to walk in this life. So the most rewarding energy that we can claim comes from our right of being here on this planet. So you're meant to be here. You were born into the family, into this life, and you are meant to be here. Your experiences are unique to you. And the angels have taught us, and if you've listened to this program before, you know I share this all the time, that we're all on the same playing field. We all come into this life knowing love, of having this pure experience of love. And we will have our own experiences and life lessons to go through for our soul's growth. Your soul is very unique. Mine is very unique. We are meant to evolve always. So when I'm connecting to souls that are on the other side and they've departed, they'll show me how they'll be in this higher vibration of love, how their soul has evolved out of the pain, out of the energy they were in the physical world. So you have the ability to use their messages as a stepping stone, a healing, a release, a point of reference to go further with yourself, to go further with your own growth, which is a really beautiful thing. And remembering that we're all on the same playing field opens our heart to compassion. And then we can really move into this alignment of, I don't have to pay attention to the energy, the situations, the trauma, the same old stories. I can pay attention to my spiritual well-being. So when we are in a toxic relationship, and I know you because we all have them, we find ourselves really caught up in a lower energy vibe. We find ourselves struggling to understand the feelings and to dissect these experiences. And they could be feelings of sadness, of anger, maybe even resentment. And we then learn to form opinions from these experiences. So say you're in your childhood and you're remembering your parents, you're remembering aunts and uncles, you're remembering how you were brought up. Well, those experiences that you had helped you to form a belief system and opinions, and you developed your own habits and ways to work with this energy. You then shaped your own energy in creating how you're going to live. And so a lot of times we'll get stuck in the judging, we'll get stuck in the energy of, well, if my parent didn't do this, or my teacher didn't do this, or if I didn't have this experience, then I would be better. And we would look always off into the past or to the future, like, if I didn't have that, I could be in this place of receiving. If I didn't have that, I could have money. If I didn't have that, I have a great relationship now, right? But that pain brought me to this point. And while it sounds so easy to say that we're not judging or shaming or blaming our experiences or people, when we really dive into our you work, and this is our spiritual growth, this is that opening that we have, our heart rips open and only truth can be seen. We can have those heartfelt conversations with ourselves. We can look in the mirror to say, okay, wait, this is a judgment I'm placing on what happened when I was a child. This is a judgment. I'm shaming myself, or I'm shaming that person, or I'm blaming that person. I'm blaming myself. We all of a sudden can start to see the triggers. We can all of a sudden look at these moments and these views of life, these movies that we replay over and over and over again, from time they come into our head, and we can see where the trigger comes from and how fear really holds us to staying in this low vibrational pattern. But the spiritual growth that we want isn't outside of God. It's within God, and it's with God. So when we go this alone and we think, I'm going to evolve spiritually, but I'm going to just do it my way, and we leave God out of the mix, well, we will only get to a certain point and we won't really feel good. And we might end up even like dropping the ball. We might not want to go further. We might be like, oh, this is crap, yoga people, whatever, meditation people, like, it's all crap. And then we getting back into our old patterns and our own behaviors and our old ways. And we aren't evolving forward. We aren't doing the work that we really want to do. And that's not great, right? We want to do this you work. So what I want you to do today, I want you to dive in a little deeper. I want you to make yourself comfortable in your surroundings. Like, make this beautiful space, and I call this your sacred space to do your you work. And maybe you have a pretty meditation pillow, or maybe you're setting an altar with candles and little prayers and maybe a devotional book, and maybe you've even written a letter of forgiveness or release to somebody. So surround yourself with these beautiful items and the space to do your you work. Even if it's in a small corner of a room, that's okay. Claim it. And I want you to sit there, and with your journal, I want you to just allow the truth to be seen and heard and told. And what this means is there's no judgment, right? You can just tell it from a perspective of the bird's eye view, like as if you're above your life. You're above, you're looking down, you're holding on, you're tethering with this beautiful string that God has you in between here and heaven, in between here and the veil. You're safe. And you can look down at these experiences and you can believe that love is available to you. And you can see it from the standpoint of, all right, where is love? What do I need to see about this? How can I transcend this feeling or this emotion or this pain? And how can I not have this be a movie, rather just a picture from a past? And when we see those photographs, memories come up, but we're not there. It's just a blank page, or it's just blank. So it's just the picture, it's just there, and our emotions are the pain points. So that's what takes us down memory lane. That's what we can really start having those feelings, right? Good or bad, right? We can have good or bad that way. So you get to decide that this gets to be a good memory now. You get to decide that when you see this picture, you've inserted love in it. And so I want you to write down, here's what I see, but here's the love I also see. So say you were in a traumatic relationship and there was abuse, and all you felt was physical and emotional pain. You were verbally hurt, you were physically hurt, and this was so much pain. And it's hard to look at, it's hard to see yourself, it's hard to see that person, but you look at it as if it's just a one dimension. You're not getting all of the emotions and feelings out of it. You're just seeing it as a blank picture. And now, as you're looking past the scene, you're looking around the room, and you're looking at the life that you've created, and you're looking further out, and you're seeing Where are the friends? Where are the relationships? Where are the things that brought you love, that supported you? Was it maybe that you were going to a meeting, or maybe to a church, or maybe there was somebody bringing you a meal, or somebody saying, you've got to get out of that relationship? Or what was there for you? How was love providing for you? Maybe there's a book that you see in that picture that you didn't notice before. Oh yeah, I was reading that book and it was filling me with love. And maybe there was music involved, or maybe you were an artist and you were painting or creating something that was a beauty, because beauty wasn't involved in your relationship at that moment. So all of that information is just information. I just want you to write it down. I don't want you to go into the movie of it. I don't want fear to grab you and take you down this Lifetime movie where you're just going to get into all the details and feelings of it. I want you just to write it out. And you're above this. So you're seeing the truth for the first time. You're seeing love and you're feeling it. And it's giving you an opportunity now to reshape your thoughts and to clean up your side of the relationship. Because here's the thing. We have relationships. We get involved with stuff. And it is painful. And sometimes it's beautiful. And sometimes it's complicated. But the first thing we can do when we're experiencing any type of pain is to open our heart to compassion and surrender those feelings and emotions without judgment, without following them back, without reliving it. Seeing it is a different story, right? Seeing it, viewing it, really comes from this truth point of view. So the angels say that though we may not believe, we are safe to surrender, right? We feel like we have to hold it, we have to keep it, it's within us. We're really meant to have these challenges so our soul can evolve, because we're deep and we're so vast in our energy. And if you can look your pain in the eye and validate it, validate yourself, well, this was a really hard thing to go through. This experience was hard. But now I'm on the other side of this hard moment, and I feel grateful for it, because it taught me what? It showed me this. I feel love. I believe God has me. My faith has grown because of it. New relationship. Always there's a new opening when we allow it to be. Something new and good can come from those spaces. And when we look at our side of the relationship and begin to own our part in where this pain and how we're carrying it is holding us back, when we stop looking at everybody else's problems and what they've done wrong, well, this is the cool, groovy stuff. So I love this analogy, and I'm going to share it with you today, which is, and I use this so often in readings, because we all get triggered and we get messy and we end up in what I call the middle of the freeway, where we're trying to direct traffic. We're trying to direct how we're going to feel by saying, you can be in my life, you can't be in my life. And we're basically trying to change the scenery. And while we're busy in this middle of the freeway trying to micromanage what's coming in our life, the people that are causing us pain, we can see that they're wrong or off, or they're whatever they've done. So their sidewalk, their life is messy. Their life is significant of that sidewalk. And we can see all the brokenness. We can see, why don't they weed their garden? Why don't they do this? Because we're in the middle of the freeway, we have this clear view of what they need to do. Meanwhile, on our side of the street, our sidewalk needs repair. It's cracked. It's broken. It's cracked and broken, right? There's glass, there's pieces missing that we have to put back together. And we are in danger of being run over by a Mack truck because we're not paying attention to our own life. We're in danger of really succumbing to fear and staying in the middle of the freeway because we're not supposed to be directing the traffic. We're supposed to be on our own path. You get this? You're supposed to be on your own path. You're supposed to be walking on your sidewalk. So when we take our energy back and we start paying attention and we get into our spiritual practice of love and we claim the space to have the belief that love exists and I can have this, well, all of a sudden, we are cleaning up our side of the relationship. All of a sudden, we've removed our energy from where it doesn't belong, any drama, any chaos around us. Putting our energy in that isn't needed. It's not needed. And without you doing anything, without you having to break up with somebody or be mean or have them hurt you, all of a sudden, by you claiming your space back and your love and you're taking care and you're nurturing, all of a sudden your sidewalk looks really clean and your life is exactly what you want it to be. Those people that aren't serving you anymore and you're not serving them, they already automatically just start leaving. Automatically. And your first step is claiming self-love and self-respect. Your first step is taking the look on what's going on in your sidewalk. So think of one relationship that you would like to heal. I'd like you to think about it right now, just one, right? And I want you to write a list of feelings that you are experiencing around this relationship. So let's pay attention, your own feelings. What do you feel? What is triggered when we have been talking and you think about this person and you think about your relationship? So I want you to write a list of the feelings that you're experiencing around that relationship and just allow yourself to pour them out on the paper, right? Pour out these feelings that you have. And then it's a list. So next to each of the feelings that you have written down, I want you to, obviously connect it to, is it with this person that this feeling is coming from? Like, is it from this one relationship, or does this feeling really attach to an event? Is this feeling attached to maybe a different person? So I want you to really pay attention to what those feelings are, and if they are all surrounding this one relationship, be really clear on that, because we do feel so much, especially when we have unhealed pain and there's emotions that are undetected, like where they belong to. They just are all emotions and tied up with feelings, and we feel like all these triggers. So we're breaking it down today. We're breaking it down. So if you're unsure where that feeling is coming from and you're not positive, I want you to leave it blank for now, because you can go back and you can readjust and you can always add that name or event or whatever that is for you. The next step is, once you have that all listed out, go ahead and pause the video. Make sure you've done this work, right? Make sure you've got the person and then come back. It's not a video, it's a podcast. So pause the podcast. I don't even know what I'm doing today. And then when you're ready, I want you to look over this list one at a time. While closing your eyes, I want you to hold that one feeling. Hold it as if it's in the palm of your hands and place them over your heart. Place it over your heart and breathe in. And feel it and say it out loud. But notice, it maybe need to move one hand lower on your belly, right? And as you're holding this feeling and you're holding this person or this event, where do you feel it in your body? Where is it showing up? I just want you to write it down. Again, don't follow any movie, don't go to any big scene. You're just noticing, we're just becoming aware of where the emotion is in our body, right? The feeling is triggering this emotion. This emotion is buried deep inside of you, and you're just naming it. So for instance, you're holding the feeling of anxiousness. And this anxious feeling is attached to a parent. And you're noticing that feeling is showing up in your gut. You're showing it in your gut. And you're writing that down. My stomach, my upper stomach, it feels uneasy. I'm questioning myself. So now, once you have that list and you've gone through these feelings, and only do as many as you can, because listen, this is big work. It really is. And you might find yourself emotional, you might find yourself crying. You're okay. Just keep calling on your angels. Keep calling on the light to surround you. So your feelings, these are associated with all of these events, all of these triggers that are within us. And all these emotions are past pains that we are storing in our body, right? So it's like the nerves, right? You know how the nerve there's a signal from the brain that sends it to the nerve and we get this fire, right? It fires off and all of a sudden we move our arm. A thought comes, the brain tells it sends it to the nerve and the signals, and then we move our hands and stuff. Same thing with pain, right? Something is gone wrong, and so the nerve endings are sending a signal, there's pain, something's wrong. So emotions are like this, they're stored up in our body, and the feelings are similar to nerves. The feelings hold an energetic string that brings those emotional energies to life. So we get very confused between what we're feeling and what's ours and what we're holding on to. We get very confused. I'm very emotional. I don't know why, because they're not plugged in together. So when we're wanting to decode and we're wanting to understand, why is this relationship so hard? And why does it seem so similar to one in the past? Or why does it keep playing these same patterns? We can start to understand our own you work. This is about you. This is not about anybody else. Because guess what? We're not going to heal anybody else. We're not going to heal anybody else. We have to heal ourselves first. So what you do after you have all of this information is you're going to write down a love action that you can take. You're going to call on love. You're going to make your life the purpose of love. You're going to believe that you can heal this. You're going to believe this because it's true. You can. And we see this all around us. If we open our eyes, we can see people that have had great suffering and they go on and they go forward and we wonder, how did they do that? How can they, be on stage and sharing? How can this parent who lost this child, or how can we see people with great pain going forward to open us up, to help us heal? Well, this is how they do it. They look at it. They look at it. They love it. They love themselves. And you can do this too. So you're going to look at a love action. An action step takes you out of the pain and gives you purpose. An action step makes that pain be of value instead of you being of suffering. So here's an action step. Forgiveness. That's a beautiful action step. You are claiming it. You're saying it. I'm going to forgive someone, or I am going to offer forgiveness. This is my action step. I am going to offer this as an action of love. We can apologize. There's another one. An apology. These are the two hardest things to do, by the way. You've heard me before say this, to forgive or to apologize, right? When we show up and somebody says, why did you do that? And you immediately say, I don't know, but I am sorry that I hurt you. That wasn't my intention. And I can see how my action led you to be hurt. And my heart is so sorry for that. We show up, we're real. We're real. And maybe that apology is something from the past, but be brave. Be brave and believe that if you are able to show up, it will be okay. Do it in a letter. Do it. Just do it. Like Nike says, just do it. What's another action step? Another action step would be surrender, to release it, to let it go, and to not carry it anymore, like not let it be your burden. To pray. When we pray, we open up. When we pray, we change energy. When we pray, we're calling on holiness, and we're not counting on ourselves. We're counting on the divine to heal and to hold sacredness for us. It's beautiful. We can let go. We can live in the present moment. We can be charitable. We can be kind. We can give to another. There are so many actions and positive things that you can do that the list is huge. And how about you create your own action list? What are actions you can take? And maybe you need to be of service. And so what does maybe volunteering look like for you? What does showing up and being of service look like for you? These are your first steps, my friend. These are your first steps. These are powerful tools that you can use to clean up any relationship, any and all relationships. You've got this. You've got this. Oh, so beautiful. So, 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 so beautiful, right? So I do want to share some love with you, some more love with you, some more, because it's what I do. I just want to forever keep sharing. So in October, I will be hosting this class called the Spiritual Healers class. And the Spiritual Healers class it's a calling, right? You might be one of these people, I don't know, maybe you are, maybe you aren't. To be a healer, right? To bring forward the gifts and talents that you innately have to serve humanity on some way, shape, or form. So it doesn't matter, maybe you're not an energy healer per se, where you're going to be working with people doing Reiki, or maybe you're an artist that you're going to use your work to spread love through greeting cards, or maybe you're like my student Elaine is an educational consultant, and she uses her healing gifts to help families find the right solution for education, the right solution for that troubled child. And so maybe you're a nurse, and maybe you want to take the service that you already are providing and you want to enhance it. You want to enhance it because you want to show up for the families who are struggling with their challenges, whatever that nursing, maybe you're end of life nursing, or maybe you're NICU nursing. And so you want to be able to support them, and you want to have the tools and the know-how. You have it within you, and you want to channel this energy on the highest vibration. This is what this class is. So whether you have the desire to own your own healing business or enhance it, maybe you're a massage therapist and you want to use energy work as a tool to provide more space for people to heal. That's what this class is for. So on October 25th and 26th, they're all day. They're very intensive, really, really amazing healing modules. So level 1, you will receive an attunement, a Reiki attunement. So you'll be trained in Reiki level 1. You may already have your Reiki level. No worries at all, because what the angels have taught me is beyond regular Reiki. It's very beautiful. And you'll have a vast understanding of how to work with energy. You will start to work with your own energy. You'll dive in and do the you work that will open you up even more and make your spiritual path be one that you're proud to stand in and share with others. So if you're interested, I invite you to send me an email at jeannie@jeanniestreet.com. Go on to my website, jeanniestreet.com. There's information there. If you need information, I will send it to you. Don't let it wait. Take action, because our life is going to wait for us, but we need to take action, right? That's how we change the world. And we are in need of this collective healing. We are in need of raising the vibration, of shifting it, of answering the calling to be the love for us and then be the love for others. So I do want to tell you this one cool thing. I got to go to this event in New York 2 weeks ago. And I was super, super, super excited about this when I signed up for this class that I had done. And the whole point of it was to get myself out of my comfort zone. And I live in Connecticut, in case you guys don't know that. So I'm about an hour and 45 minutes out from Manhattan. And well, it's easy to get there, and I've done it several times. I used to go years ago for when I had my shoe store, and I would go do buying and whatnot. The thing is, I always went with somebody. I always had people with me. That was my thing. Sure, I can do it. I was so proud of myself when I first drove down and had my people, and we went and shoe buying. But this event, I was going by myself. This event was all about me. This event was my spiritual growth. It was my loving of me. And so I was really pumped up. And then when it came closer, I was like really doubting. I was really afraid. I was like, I can't do this. Where am I going to park? How am I going to get there? I don't know if you've ever used the GPS on your phone in the city, but it's not a lot of fun. And because the buildings are in the way and you'll go like the wrong direction. So I'm like, how am I going to work with my GPS when there's buildings, and how am I going to get to where I need to go if I park far away? So I was in the fear of it completely. So I did what I teach you guys to do, is I got to my meditation pillow and I poured out my fears and I said, I need to believe. I need to see this as a truth. I need to see this as love. I need to believe that I'm safe and surrounded by love. I need to believe. And so that's what I did. I called on that faith that I have. I called on love. And I saw myself in this beautiful space. And I found myself finding a parking with ease. And I found myself smiling as I was driving, and found myself seeing the entire day on the highest vibration. I saw it. And as I pictured it, I knew it was true. So I went that day. I got up the morning of, I got myself dressed. I called on my angels. I called on the light, and I still believed. And fear wasn't present then. And I did. I got there. I found the parking I needed. It was, just a block away. I did everything. And I was so proud of myself that I was able to have my spiritual practice there to guide me through, to support me for going to that event and showing up. And the whole point of me telling you this isn't even about that. It was really to tell you about this woman that I met at this event. This is actually 3 women that I met, and we had gone to lunch. And of these 3 women, 2 of them had already gotten up at this event before it was, not even midway. They had lunch. Maybe it was midway through. Midway through, they had already gotten up. They had already gotten the microphone. They had already asked questions. They already participated in this event. And I was so impressed. And I was like, how did you do that? That's amazing. And so one of the girls said, one of the biggest lessons she learned was to participate. She said, grab the mic, do the scary things, participate, show up. And if you show up even without your question, it's gonna come to you when you're there. But if you're gonna make the effort to go to the lengths of any work, whether it's taking a class, whether it's going to, this event like I went to, a conference, whether it's going to a healing class like the one I'm going to offer, you show up, you get up, you grab the mic, you take the energy and you hold it sacredly in your heart. And I thought, God, this is beautiful. I love this. This is exactly what I needed, because it's so true, right? It was a confirmation that I took my fear, but I put it in my heart and I made it powerful, and I was able to show up for myself. And had I not gone or talked myself out of the event, I wouldn't have met that girl. I wouldn't have found that parking spot. I wouldn't have known that I can do anything. And so, my friend, God has your back. Love has you. Come visit me. Come hang out on social media. Visit me on Instagram, Jeannie Street Medium, or on Facebook, because I'd love to share more with you. Have a most beautiful day. And I know what I know, because angels don't lie.